Hi guys, this is Meenu. Welcome back to my channel Storytale. This week I have read Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I have read this book purely for my pleasure. This video is not going to be structured like my all other previous videos. It does not going to have a like dislike section. I'm just going to rant about this book as much as possible, and I'm not going to give you any spoilers, so you do not have to worry about that. You're just going to be listening to me ranting about this book because, like I said, I just read it because I wanted to. I did not read this book because I wanted to review it, but I'm talking about this book anyway because I just wanted to talk about this book. When you're a booktuber, it is really difficult to read a book just because you want to, because of course you want to give reviews of certain books, so you have to read those books, and you do not actually get to read a book you actually want to. I have been putting off books of Black Dagger Brotherhood for a long time now because I've not been able to read it, and that is a series that I really enjoy but actually do not have time to actually finish it. That is why it has been a very long time for me to read a book just because I want to. But this Punk 57, I read it because I wanted to get over Bridgerton. Let me explain it a little bit. I have been obsessed with Bridgerton season 2 ever since I've watched it, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I've been obsessed with the romance and chemistry of Kate and Anthony. I was really obsessed with their love story. So of course I wanted something else to read too. I did read the second book in the Bridgerton series, The Viking Who Loved Me, and I did enjoy it. I did not think that it was better than this TV series like many people actually does, because I did see certain problematic things in the book, especially when it comes to consent. I think there were many problems with that part. I did enjoy the characters in the book, but I did love the characters more in the Bridgerton TV series. But anyway, I really wanted something to take my mind off that particular series and the particular book. That is why I picked up Punk 57, because many people have been saying that it does have enemies to lover kind of a vibe, and I really wanted to get into that more. To be honest, the enemies to lover kind of part is not that much strong in this book. It was more like best friends who did not know much about each other. Then they start to hate each other a little bit. Then again they start to, love. So that is the whole concept of this book. But it's not more like a enemies to lover kind of a book. If you're expecting that, you're actually gonna be disappointed a little bit. But anyway, I picked this book up because I wanted to read something fun, something steamy, and something not exactly the kind of books I have been reading lately. I ate this book up in a day. I was so much hooked to it. There are many problems with this book. I'm not gonna deny that, especially because I am in my late 20s. So of course, for me, reading about teenagers, and especially when they are high schoolers, it was a little bit, it was a little bit uncomfortable for me, because in my mind they are still kids. Because what I remember when I was in high school, I do not ever remember it ever being this much intense. I mean, not in the love or the sexual kind of a way department. So for me, it did not feel right to have high schoolers do this, whatever that was happening in this book, because I do not think high schoolers are that much intense, whether it is in India or in any other country. I did think that it was very unrealistic, especially because these kids are barely 18. So it was really hard for me to imagine all those scenes, to be honest. That is why I was not enjoying that much the sexual scenes that we had in this book, because for me these are teenagers, and it did make me a little bit uncomfortable. If this book had been about people who are above 25, then it would have made this much better experience for me. I would have loved it more. I would have loved these steamy scenes because it is written very well in this book. I would have enjoyed it more then, but then again, with teenagers it was a little bit uncomfortable for me. Let me run you through the story a little bit. The story is about Misha and Ryan. Both of them were pal friends. They have been writing letters to each other ever since they were in class 5. They do not know much about each other, especially when it comes to identity. Other than that, they talk about everything else. They just do not know who both of these people are. They just know each other first name, that is all. And they have been writing for years, and they can Google each other or find out about each other, but they don't want to because they don't want to ruin their friendship that they already have. But of course, this is not going to be continued forever, because how we are going to get a story. One day Misha did find out about Ryan. Ryan is the girl and Misha is the guy. That is the funny thing about this book. But anyway, one day he did see her in front of himself, and then he was really shocked because she is not exactly what he pictured in his mind. So that was a little bit disappointing for him. And there was also something very tragic happened to him the night that he met Ryan. Ryan did not know anything about Misha, and she did not know that the guy she was meeting is actually Misha. So she also did not understand why Misha suddenly stopped writing her letters. It has been months that he has written anything to her, so she is kind of worried that what actually has happened to him, but she has not even been able to, even trying to find out what has actually happened. I think that was a little bit stupid. If you know that someone is has been writing for you for years and now they have suddenly stopped for 3 to 4 months, you should have thought that maybe something bad has happened. You should have googled him. You should have been able to try to connect with him or something, but she did not try that. But anyway, the kind of personality that Misha did not like about Ryan was that she is a bully. She likes to bully people. I mean, she would not do it herself. I mean, not the worst part at least, but her boyfriend or whatever the guy is, he would bully certain people. He would call them many bad names. It starts with F. I'm not going to say those words, but he calls them very bad names, and he also goes beyond to physical abuse. So she just stands there and just bears it, and she does not say anything. So that is something that bothers Misha a lot, and that is why he kind of hate her, because she is witnessing all of this and she's not doing anything. When Misha finally meets Ryan, the hate between them is very much visible. And there's this one particular incident which I think bothered me a lot. He did ended up verbally abusing her, and there was this word that starts with C. I'm not going to say it, but I think you should not call that a girl. No matter how angry he was, no matter what happened, I mean, nothing extreme actually happened for him to use that word, but he did anyway, and he used it, and I was like really disturbed with that word. I mean, how can he even say that when he loves this person? How can he even think of saying that word? That was just disrespectful, and really not okay with that one. That is the kind of bully that I did not stand by, and I really hated that scene. There are also many other scenes where many abuses has been used, but that is the plot of the story, so that worked with me, but that particular scene did not. Other than that, there's also a mystery of the punk who has been writing or designing or whatever graffiti on the school walls. So the identity of the punk is not actually known, so we get to know that by the end of the book. I did kind of predict who the culprit was, so that was not a big twist for me. But anyway, overall I really enjoyed this book because it was such a fun read. I did have many problems with this book, but again, like I said, I ate it up. I finished this book in one sitting because I was really hooked. I really liked the story. The background of both the characters was engaging. The miscommunication was well done too. There are certain stupidity in this book, there are certain wrong things in this book, but anyway, the experience of this book, the reading, even the scenes, even though a little bit uncomfortable for me, but if I would have been in my 90s or 20s or 21 or something, I would have enjoyed it much more. I would have loved it much more. Both the characters of Misha and Ryan are written as like the unlikable hero, and they are like the unlikable hero, but still I really enjoy their love story, their chemistry. I do love friends to lover kind of love story because that is something that I can relate to. But anyway, this book is not a work of art. This book is purely pleasure. So if you just want to read a book just because you want to read, you can pick it up, or you cannot. It has a lot of problems in this book, so of course I'm not going to recommend you, but I did enjoy this book and I really liked the time that I had with it. It is not a substitute for Bridgerton, which I was seeking, but anyway, it did not disappoint me much either. I'm gonna be next maybe picking The Birthday Girl whenever I feel like it, not sometimes in the near future because I do have other books to review, but I am planning to read this one day, and of course if possible I'm gonna bring the review to you guys. Until then, do let me know in the comments down below what you think of this book. Of course, there are many problems with this one. Do let me know what are the problems you did find too, and is this book a guilty pleasure for you too like it is for me? Do let me know in the comments down below. And of course, do not forget to subscribe and hit that like button. I will see you next time. Take care.